Hello children, see your school. See your school ground also here, and your assembly stage. Now what I'm going to show you here is the wall behind the assembly stage. You can see it is fully covered with moss. Can you see that? You can see covering of moss. Let's go nearby it and see. Now see, I have come very close to it and see how you can see the moss plant now. It's just like small plants, but from far away it looks like a carpet. See that? So here what you are seeing is moss, and this is the gametophytic stage. The plant body has got leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structure. It is not a vascular plant. It will have the male antheridia and the female archegonia in between these leafy structures. Here we are looking at the antheridia of bryophyte, that is moss plant, and here you can see the antheridium is club shaped. If I focus one of the antheridia, let me focus one of the antheridia. See here, you can see this one antheridia. It has covering which is called as the jacket, and in the center the dark red portion that you see is the place where the sperms are formed. The sperms are biflagellate and they are haploid sperms. The antheridium is also haploid. In between the antheridium, if you see, you can see brown structure. These brown long structures are called as the paraphysis. Now what you are seeing under the microscope is the female reproductive organ of moss, which is called as the archegonium. Each archegonium is swollen at the base, which is called as a venter, and elongates or tapers towards its apex, and that part is called as a neck. So here you can see an egg clearly which is present inside the venter. Even here you can see the vegetative paraphysis along with that is archegonia is haploid, and the egg that is present inside it is also haploid. When it is time for reproduction, the sperm, biflagellate sperm, will enter through this neck opening and will swim to the venter and fertilize the egg to form the diploid zygote, and the diploid zygote will then develop into the sporophytic stage. So till now what we saw is a gametophytic stage, where we studied about the main plant body being gametophyte, and it has the female reproductive organ archegonium and male reproductive organ the antheridium. Antheridium produces biflagellate sperm which will swim through water into the neck of the archegonium and will reach the venter where there is the egg. In this patch you can see that after fertilization the zygote which has been formed inside the archegonia develops into the sporophytic stage, and this sporophytic stage is what you are seeing here. So you can see the capsules that have come out, and it has a long stalk-like structure which is called as a seta, and it is attached to the gametophytic stage by the foot. Inside this capsule is a sporangium, inside which the spores are present, and when they mature, the cap-like structure which you're seeing on top, which I will also show you in the microscope, it will open and the spores are released out. So now I have kept the capsule which is a part of the sporophyte under the microscope. Now you can see this is a structure of a capsule, longitudinal section as seen under the microscope. So at the tip of the capsule we see this cap-like structure which is called as the operculum. Capsule is nothing but the sporangium. It's a sac-like structure which contains the sporangium. These red dots that you see on either side of the red line, those are the spores that have formed. These spores are formed by the process of meiosis, so they are called as the meiospores. Once these meiospores are mature, then this cap-like structure, which is called as the operculum, will break open and release all the meiospores that are present here. And each one of these spores have the ability to develop into the gametophyte of moss, which is called as the protonema. So it's like a seedling. The protonema will develop and grow, mature into a plant thallus, which is the gametophytic stage. So we can sum up the whole thing by looking at the life cycle of moss. Here we can see the gametophytic stage of moss, and this is the sporophytic stage of moss. So alternation of generation is seen in a Funarian life cycle. The main thallus is a gametophyte and is haploid. The gametophyte is called as a gametophyte because it contains the gamete bearing structures antheridium and archegonium. Antheridium is the male reproductive structure and gives rise to the biflagellate sperm, which are also haploid. These require water and they swim to the archegonium and fertilizes the egg. Because they require water, these Funarians or bryophytes are also called as the amphibians of plant kingdom. After fertilization takes place, what is formed is the diploid zygote. The diploid zygote will then develop into the sporophytic stage. The sporophytic stage is represented by the structure of a capsule, which is supported by a seta and embedded by a foot. Inside the sporophyte or inside the capsule, the spores are formed by the process of meiosis. Once the spores are released, they fall down and they develop into the protonema. The protonema is the gametophytic stage and it develops into the main plant body again.